Over the course of the past decade, the internet started being widely recognized as a viable medium for mass sharing. Through it, people of a creative inclination could freely share the products of their imagination with anyone, a notion which was helped along by a vast array of widely available tools and applications meant to help them in this pursuit. One such person who decided to act upon this opportunity was an Australian by the name of D. Robert Christie, who took on the online moniker of Dark Gaia Studios. No, not that one, although you wouldn't know it from a quick Google search, and set about sharing his visions by way of one of the most celebrated forms of new media, video games. Back in 2009, Dark Gaia began releasing a freeware trilogy of games known as the One Night series, which he developed using RPG Maker VXAs. These games, self-described as horror adventure/puzzle games, are mostly remembered for their rather complex storytelling, and their enemy encounter mechanics, which mostly consist of dodging constant efforts made by the default pathfinding script to approach the player, which are easily mitigated by a barrier more than one tile wide between the monster and the target. Along with Japanese-produced titles such as Ao Oni, One Night was among the first games to establish Run Away from the Monster as the most popular mechanic by far in any game labeled RPG Maker Horror. Truly a sizable contribution to the world of gaming. Not long after, Dark Gaia came up with the Legionwood games, which he describes as classic-style fantasy RPGs with tons of side content. Something to note in both of these series is Dark Gaia's tendency to take full advantage of the RPG Maker engine, by using the default RTP-provided assets almost exclusively, including pre-made maps, music, and sprites, and yet somehow also including bizarre bugs such as sleeping characters with sprites that change if interacted with due to graphical mismanagement. Regardless, 2 of these Legionwood games are on sale on Dark Gaia's website, as well as Steam, but the man himself has persisted and produced one more game in recent history. Released in September of 2014, his latest venture is a horror game called Mythos: The Beginning. Another RPG Maker title, Mythos is, and I quote, a terrifying horror-themed RPG inspired by classic monster movies of the 1930s with unlimited character customization. Being the only game among all of these which I have played, and given that it delves into a subject matter in which I am deeply interested, I believe it merits a closer look. Refreshingly, this game does not make use of RPG Maker's default base RTP assets. It instead makes use of the Mythos Horror Resource Pack, a different pre-made RTP base sold for RPG Maker VXAs. This resource pack is made up of more photorealistic CG graphics, which look markedly different from most other RPG Maker type imagery, and which are no doubt necessary for telling a cosmic horror story in the old word fiction style. Yeah, why don't I just start the game? Alright, and it starts off with one of the most famous horror quotes of all time, from H.P. Lovecraft's excellent essay, Supernatural Horror in Literature. The quote is incomplete though. The opening sentence of that work is, "The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown." Surely this will be corrected in just a moment, though, right? No? Okay. Well, maybe he's just forgotten it, hasn't read it in a while. Maybe he just hasn't seen it, but it's kind of weird that he would be able to miss such an iconic piece of weird fiction. I've made a huge mistake.